Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and my lovely hostess in the studio with me today, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Daphne Lynn.
Hello, Ashton Lewis, and all of our wonderful, beautiful listeners out there. Welcome.
Welcome. How is everyone doing out there today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
You're listening to the NDE World Podcast, guys. Welcome. Those of you who are visiting for the first time, and welcome, and especially those who are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much. And as always, we'd like to put a little plug in here for our website. If you guys haven't been to the website yet, be sure to go to nde.world for more information in case, in case something happens and you don't really get to listen to the full podcast or anything. You can always go to the website, and it takes you to all kind of different goodies there. So nde.world, again, that is
NDE.world.
Alrighty, so today we have a really good topic that what do you think about today's topic, Daphne?
I'm ready for this one. I'm rubbing my hands together, y'all. I got my boots on for this one. And the one thing to do is definitely open your heart and mind to this information, because this is a doozy, you guys. I love this. We go on these platforms and we find these questions that so many people are asking and wanting answers to. So we take it to the NDEs, and they give the most beautiful, insightful answers. So y'all put your boots on for it, because it's gonna get deep today.
Y'all put your boots on. It's gonna get deep.
Very good. Well, without further ado, Miss Daphne, why don't we just go ahead and jump into the question, and then we'll see with these people who have had NDEs and things like that, what their comments are. And then we'll comment on their comments.
Would you like for me to read the question today?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so what happens to people on the other side who are just horrible human beings? For example, pathological liars, thieves, those who lack morals in every aspect, people who hurt others and get pleasure out of it, people who have a superiority complex, huge ego, and so on.
Okay. So, I guess the actual question is, what happens to bad people when they transition? First of all, my question would be, what would be bad? What would you call a bad person? I think people are people. I think we have the potential to be extreme, awesome, wonderful beings, and
yes.
coexist in a world of like-minded, souls. However, I think the choices we make can be bad or good, and that's just bad or good. That's kind of that dichotomy of this world that we're living in, the
right.
duality and stuff. So maybe what's good and bad from my perspective may be different from good and bad. Your perspective may be good and bad from Source's perspective. See, Source may have a whole different perspective of good and bad. It may not even exist on the other side, and we're going to get into that here shortly. So, I guess that's the thing. Are there really bad people, or do people make, bad choices?
One thing we have to look at too is, we say, people who have done right and wrong. Okay, throughout time, what we considered wrong at one point, we now consider right. So our perspective, our morals change. We have to realize that everything is not necessarily right or wrong. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
So
it makes sense. That makes
yes.
sense. So, let's take a look at this first comment. This person says, in response to the question, what happens to the bad guys, is this: it was the journey that they agreed to before coming here, like playing the role of the villain in a movie. Our personalities are not our souls. They are a cloak we wear while we are here. Those people have very intense life reviews and feel everything they ever did to anyone, good and bad, that is where their lessons will hopefully manifest in their souls. Nice.
Yes.
I like that. Daphne, comments?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I like the way this person brings it out. It's like we're playing the role here on Earth, and it's something that each person has agreed to, whether it's, we decide on our personalities, it's just a cloak here, and in the things that we do, we're going to get that back in our life review. So through our life review, we are going to receive the things we did back to us tenfold, hundredfold. I mean, it's very, very intense when you have lived a life that these people have lived, as what the question or statement brought out, liars and thieves and people who lack morals and hurt others. They are going to have an intense life review. And hopefully that will help their soul grow and to help them to change what they will do the next time.
Daphne, I'm glad you brought that out, because here's one of the issues that a lot of people have. Where's the justice? If somebody commits all these heinous crimes and then, it's okay, then they're, when they die, most people are vengeful. They think, that eye for eye kind of thing, but that from what I understand, that's not how it works in the big picture.
It's not, right. Agreed.
But what I wanted to add, just a little thought there, because I know you'd mentioned earlier that, in the life review, we know they're going to experience this, and you had mentioned like tenfold, 100-fold, or 1,000-fold. That I don't really, I don't know. I think it would be just for just. You're going to feel exactly what it was. I don't think it has to be amplified 10%,
True,
100%.
right?
I'm just throwing that in there.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that, you're plugged into the system and you're going to feel exactly what everybody felt, because then it would be unjust for, if you hurt somebody at 3% and then, they're going to get to hurt you back at 10%, you get to feel 100% or 1,000%. Now we're back to square one, back to human thinking.
Right, exactly.
To me, it seems like you plug in and it just balances things out. It purges everything, and it balances, neutralizes the energy back out.
Right. And like this person brought it up, it's going to be a very intense life review, that they're going to feel everything they ever did, the good and the bad. And yeah, maybe the way that I brought that out was not quite right, because that is being kind of judgmental. You're going to get this back a certain way. So thank you for bringing that out.
Oh, no worries. That's just what I was, had brought to my attention as well.
Yeah,
because I thought that before, and then it was brought to my attention from the other perspectives. Now that wouldn't make sense. It has to be. However, for those guys out there who are looking for justice, of course, it's not our place, but like Daphne said, this is where justice comes in, okay?
But
the
it's
intensity, the intensity of what these people have done. If they've done something really horrendous, regardless whether they did it to one person, if they did it to multitudes, they are going to have to feel that, all right? That's going to be their punishment, and how they're going to handle it, I don't know. Where they go from there, I don't know. I really don't know. But from what I'm understanding, it's supposed to balance and neutralize everything back out.
Right.
We don't carry all that with us, but you will have to reap what you sow as far as the seed you planted. We talk about that a lot.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. I do like this. It says our personalities are not our souls. And we get caught up in the personality, the story, the physical, the avatar, the ego that we think we are here. Yeah. But we're so much more than this physical body. We are that spiritual. We are sentient beings having a human experience.
Yeah.
So experience and love and harm none.
That's right. The key, that's it. Just love all.
Yeah.
If you love all, you don't have to worry about harming any. Very good, very good. Well, would you like to take the next one?
Of course. You come into a life with lessons to learn. You agree to your parents, your body, including your mind, your experiences to a point. the land you are born in, etc. The challenges of our lives are agreed to by us prior to coming here. That is free will.
Okay.
Okay,
Comments?
so yes, right off of the top of this, I'm seeing the soul contract
Okay.
is what they're speaking of here, and in many multiple books out there, you can get this information. Just agreeing to your parents, where you're born at. It's soul contracts, journey of soul, conversations with God. There's so many books out here that talk about you agreeing to the things that you come into this world to experience to a point, but you still have free will to create your world.
I think that is what they call free will.
Right, yes.
Here, if I may, and for a lot of listeners, especially the new ones, a lot of them, that's a hard concept to understand, and I'm still trying to grasp the fullness of it as well. How can, and I get it. There are people out there ask the question, well, how can somebody like Hitler sit down and sign a contract, okay, and plan out he's going to come down here and he's going to slaughter or be responsible for having loads of people, slaughtered, and the horrific that went with that, and that's just looking at it from keep in mind, guys, we're looking at it from a human perspective, okay?
Exactly, yeah.
But the point is, I don't know. I don't see it. I think there's more to it. I'm neutral in this because it's a subject that I don't really fully understand. How people can agree to come down here and do those kind of things. It's not something that I'm totally, but that's just me where I'm at, because I don't want to speak anything in absolute, because the truth is nobody knows, but keep in mind, we have all of these different comments and stuff like that, and we're just sharing that. So I'm, I have to be neutral with a lot of this. If it's something I agree with, I can let you know. But
right.
Some things, if I don't really fully understand, I really can't say a lot about it because I don't want to mislead anybody.
Right. Now, I can remember the first time I myself heard anything about, we pre-planned our lives. There's a soul contract. I was like, I don't believe that. I cannot. There's no way that people would come down here and plan to do some of the things that they do. But after reading and hearing these experiences, it resonates with me now. So there's much information out there on this that you can read. It's actually in Conversations, Journey of Souls, Destiny of Souls. That's just a few that I'm aware of. And there are many more books out there on soul contracts, sacred contracts, that you can read to help you understand this.
Well, not necessarily to understand it, just to give you different perspectives. None of this is etched in stone. Well, these are just experiences. These are just perspectives. We have to keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. Now, back to the subject at hand here, I was kind of thinking, and I'm wanting to think broadly because, we have listeners who are broad listeners. I'm not going to say, hey, this is how it is, because that's just not how I work. I can understand and grasp that, say, for example, somebody like Hitler, and I've done research on the man's history. A lot of people say that what he did was horrible. A lot of people said that what he did was good. From what I understand, he came from I don't really know much of his background, but I know he was like an artist, and he was, tried to get in a lot of different schools and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So at one time, something happened. I don't know. I don't know. You hear the stories of the methamphetamine that started cooking up around that time and started driving people crazy.
Look at today too.
Is that part of the deal? I don't know. Can a holy, righteous, pure love sit down and plan horror to go down there? I don't know. I don't see how people can sit and agree to that. Now, I can see how Hitler could agree to come down here and be the best person he can be. Did everything he can do, and all of a sudden something happened. He got off on drugs. I'm just saying, I don't know. I've seen what methamphetamines do to people, and he snapped and went crazy. I don't know. And from that, he made poor choices that, that he's going to have to come back. Now, I totally get the life review part, because he can, you're going to have to reap what you sow. I get that. But that's just from a certain perspective, and I know there's listeners out there. Now, there are other perspectives. Now, Daphne's got a couple that she's going to share as well, from that, just to kind of give you a broader perspective, because we all have different views and things like that on this. But if you want to, Daphne, maybe you can share that, and then we can kind of put the two together, because it really fits in with what we're talking about,
Okay, yes, actually, I'm glad you brought that out, because with you bringing up all the Hitler, I did have this kind of prepared for later in the episode, but now is the perfect time since this came out. In the Conversations with God, Book 2, it specifically talks about Hitler. Okay, so Neil in the book asked the question, how could a man like Hitler have gone to heaven? Okay, so question from Neil from Book 2 of Conversations with God. How could a man like Hitler have gone to heaven? Every religion in the world, I would think, everyone has declared him condemned and sent straight to hell. Source's answer to this, y'all put your boots on for this. Okay, so he says, Hitler went to heaven for these reasons. There is no hell, so there is no place else for him to go. His actions were what you would call mistakes, the actions of an unevolved being, and mistakes are not punishable by condemnation, but dealt with by providing a chance for correction for evolution. The mistakes Hitler made did no harm or damage to those whose deaths he caused. Those souls were released from their earthly bondage like butterflies emerging from a cocoon. The people who were left behind mourn those deaths only because they do not know of the joy into which those souls entered. No one who has experienced death ever mourns the death of anyone. Your statement that their deaths were nevertheless untimely and therefore somehow wrong suggests that something could happen in the universe when it is not supposed to. Every event is an act of God. Do you imagine that an event could take place if I did not want it to? Do you think that you could so far as much lift your little finger if I choose for you not to? You can do nothing if I am against it.
Okay.
So
good. There's a different perspective. Exactly. That's what we were saying a while ago, because like I said, there are many people out there that they don't grasp all of this,
Right, and we're limited here in our understanding of things. We have to have a spiteful, vengeful, wrathful, condemning God because we're that way.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that does not describe an unconditional loving energy source, or God, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I totally see both sides myself. Like I said, I'm neutral. I can sit back and it's the way to be. But to go with that thought, to really think about it, I get that. It resonates and it makes sense. The part that doesn't make sense is pre-planning to come down here to do that. Okay, that's the part that doesn't resonate with me. I can see something happening and somebody just killing millions of people, and their souls flying off like butterflies. Nobody died. Everybody's transitioning. Yeah, I get that. That's a beautiful thing, and things can happen, without God doing it, but God also gives you free will. Now, you can use and you can misuse that free will. Okay, you can either be in harmony and be one with that all, what we call God, which from my understanding is what all of humanity has been striving for since the beginning of time, which comes into the concept of reincarnation. They say it takes you many times to try to get it right. Get what right? Your highest,
here to just experience,
your
grow,
highest self. To be your highest self. So, but anyway, that's really just to give everybody different perspectives.
Oh yeah,
and I just, like I said, there's free will. So where does free will come into play? Did Hitler plan to come down and kill millions, or did Hitler come down, abuse his agreement, went against free will, and chose to do that? You see, we don't know.
That's the world he created.
We're
all creators, so.
Right, it's the choices that he made.
Right. And like we've brought out on many episodes, why would a loving, unconditional, loving God give you free choice and free will, and then condemn you for it. And that's why it's brought out that hell doesn't exist. There's not a condemning God. It's an unconditional love that it is accepting of all that you do. You're here to experience.
Exactly. However, you read it yourself. You will have to deal with that in the sense that is exactly what the life review is for.
Yes.
So you can get help, so you can make adjustments, so you can grow. Okay. And that's from what I'm understanding, that how that ties in together with all that.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Yeah, it spoke of through many of the books out there that there is a place that these people who have had these experiences of being hurtful and condemning of others, and that they go to regroup, to learn what they've done, how they affected life itself. So there is like a hospital, if you want to call it that, that these souls go to grow, to learn what they've done.
Get you thinking.
And to reform.
Get you thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
It does.
Very good, very good. Well, let's move on along, Daphne. Would you like to take the
Yes.
next one?
It says, you are playing a part, but it is improv, not a written script. The choices you make in this life inform your soul about those choices. You can choose to be nice or a jerk. They both have clear intentions and affect those around you directly. Your soul learns from this and hopefully grows, moving in the direction of spreading more love.
Very good, very good. Okay. This has a few different comments in it here. The first one, I like the very first sentence because it backs up what I was saying a while ago.
Exactly.
But it also contradicts your soul contract thing you were mentioning earlier. Okay, really think about this, guys. It says you are playing a part, but it is improv. What does it say? Not a written script. Not a written script means it's not written. It's not previously agreed. It's free will. You come and go. You do what you please. Just a different perspective. We have to understand, open up your mind. We can't get closed. Hey, this is how it is. Because, we've had people who's had these near-death experiences. But we're all trying to speak absolutes of something we don't really know what we're talking about. So that's what we have to be careful of. We're here to give different perspectives for the listeners, okay? Like this person says here, you're playing the part, but it's improv. It's not a written script. So improv means you're going to do what you do, which is in harmony with free will, Okay? You'll make good choices and you'll make not so good choices. Now, however, you'll have to be able to go through your life review to see how you did and how all that stuff fits together. That all makes sense, That's what I like about that first part, how that brings out there. Another thing, everything that we do is choice. If you choose to operate through soul and oneness, you're going to treat people a lot different than you are operating through ego. Ego's going to hit harder, more disrespectful, more rude. I think it used the expressions like being a jerk or being a whatever. People can come up with all these names to call people. Or it says also you can choose to be nice.
Yeah.
And loving and joyful and uplifting and encouraging. So it's all about choice. So that's a good thing as well.
And that's the point. Is your soul grows and learns.
Yeah.
One thing we have to adopt if we haven't and are not doing it is that love. We have to spread more love.
That's the key. Mm-hmm. Love is the key. All right, moving on along. Maybe reincarnation so that they can clear up karmic debt from this lifetime. Okay. Comments?
Karmic debt. See, now, myself, I don't believe in karmic debt because just of the knowledge that comes back from
it. It kind of conflicts with the life review.
It really does, yeah. So, if we're here to grow as a soul and experience, then karma has no role in that.
Okay, very good. Well, to go with that thought...
For me, anyway.
No, I understand, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, I look at karma from a different perspective as well, and like the karmic will and the way it's been taught for thousands of years. I'm kind of personally kind of feeling and leaning more towards the near-death experiences where they, it's more about the life review. That to me is more loving, more justice, more,
right.
Okay, you get neutralized out and you get to choose to come back. You see, you get to choose everything. That all works in harmony with your free will. However, they say the karmic, curse, or people who believe in reincarnation from that perspective is, the good and the bad that you've done in this lifetime, you have to transition from this life and come back and reincarnate in another body and come back and fix those karmic debts, and keep doing it and until you have none, and then you're enlightened, from what I understand.
I get that, yeah.
But I really feel more of the, I understand reincarnation from a different perspective now, and I actually lean more towards karma. As far karma is more the life review. Yeah. Like we say,
me too.
The, heaven, hell, karma, judgment. That's all in the life review. All wrapped
up in one, in the thing called life review.
The golden rule, the reaping what you sow, and all that. It's all in one. Yes, very good. Okay, Miss Daphne, would you like to take the next one, please?
Of course. Said, everyone is pure in spirit form. It is when you are the true self connected to the eternal source, or God, whatever you want to call it. In that realm, the prevailing energy frequency is one of love. The human life is a story the soul agrees upon to uplift their own growth or that of others. Even the evilest human life is pure at the soul level. It's the story they play out that isn't. Don't compare the spirit to a human story. The body is a suit the spirit wears, and the story is the play the spirit has accepted the role to act in.
There you go.
You know what this reminds me of? David's story.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing the flesh suits?
Yeah. We'll have to. He's actually scheduled to be coming on, so I don't want to give out any secrets just yet. But when we bring him on, but yeah, he's got some really awesome stories. Yeah, we'll save that for that when he gets here to share that with us. Mm-hmm. This is so good, and it ties in with a lot of the stuff we've already covered. Mm-hmm. I like where it says that even the evilest, if that's a word, I was going to say most evil, maybe, human life is pure at the soul level.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
All of us are, in the core, should be, a purity. That's right. That's that we've broken away from and created these egos, and sometimes those egos take over and turn people into monsters, But there still could be really good people in the core. I know that's hard to comprehend, but who am I to say? I'm just throwing out perspectives,
Oh, yeah.
People make bad choices.
Well, we deem bad choices.
Exactly.
We put the labels on things.
Correct. And that again falls into this realm. Right. Mm-hmm. You're right. Okay. Any more comments on that one?
No, I really like that this person actually gets it. That the human life is a story that is agreed upon for the growth of the soul. It is a story. It is a play. So we can't compare the spirit to the human story. And that's what we're talking about here, the soul form. The soul is pure. The soul is love. It cannot be condemned because it is love. It is of source. Source is not evil. Source is not bad. It is pure love. Why would it condemn itself?
Get you thinking.
Yes, put your boots on.
Y'all put your boots on. Gonna get deep.
Moving on along. This next person says that they will one day look back at their life and feel everything others felt in their presence. It is the absolute perfect punishment for their actions. Comments. There's a few different perspectives I'm looking at this from. I can see.
Yes, of course.
Comments.
I'm seeing the life review in this, that they're going to get to feel everything that they did to others. But I don't agree with the punishment for their actions because of what we have learned through this.
Right.
There is no punishment in love.
Yeah, you can't grow.
Right. That's a human perspective.
Yeah, and that's the first thing that popped out of my mind. But it said the absolute perfect punishment. Mm-hmm. So they even had to back it up with some adjectives and a few other things there just to make it really super intense, for their actions. So this person, in this sense, is playing judge. Really, from that part of the comment. The first part says one day they will look back and feel everything that others felt. That's in harmony with what we're learning. It is, instead of saying it is the absolute perfect punishment for their actions, maybe it's the way things work to put things back in balance, or however you label that is really going to make you feel a certain way about it. If you're like, oh yeah, revenge or that punishment, that's what they deserve. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, we've created a God that is condemning and wrathful and punishing.
Made of our ego.
Out of our ego.
Yeah.
We have to have that kind of God. Not me, but mankind thinks that way. That because we are that way. And that's what we have to break away from. We have to break away from the wrathful, the condemning of each other and everything. Get back to source love, pure love.
Very well said. Thank you. Very well said. Okay, well, would you like to take the next one, please?
Says, your soul is no longer in human flesh. God sees your earthly achievements of the heart. What your soul brought home. You get to see through your review with Him. God doesn't judge you. God loves you unconditionally, even if He doesn't like your choices you've made in life. But you get to judge yourself. The love your soul brought home will decide whether you're recycled back in the human flesh. Your eternal peace in heaven has to be earned. God promised us paradise. Earth is your school. God gave us all His gift of love and light through your conscience. If you use that gift, your heart and soul knows it as you return home for eternal peace.
Okay, there's a lot of different perspectives in here. A lot of good, things you can look into. Like how they said, of course, you're no longer going to be a human flesh. You'll be that pure spirit on the other side, of course. Also, you get to see through your review. That kind of ties in with the life review. Again, it says that God does not judge. We talk about that a lot on here. And that it is unconditional love, and that it loves you unconditionally,
Exactly. And this point here, it says, God loves you unconditionally, even if He doesn't like your choices you've made in life. Reminds me of so many experiences we've heard and read and watched videos on, that whatever entity is around you or being is indifferent to your actions here on earth. They're not judging or disliking or liking anything you've done, because you are soul pure form. And they are soul pure form too. So there's no judgment in that. There's no negative in that world.
It's going to feel negative if you've ditched out a lot of negative. In the life review part, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how
you'll get to feel that.
Which resonates. That makes the most sense, because people are in question about, that's what this question is about. What happens to these people? Where does the justice lie? In the life review. That's your answer. It's not in the punishment. It's not in the torture. It's not in the
condemnation of
anything.
anything.
Not in the condemnation, anything,
Right.
And it's still up to people to agree or to believe whether or not, people agree to come down to do that. That's open, for discussion right there as well. But to answer the question of what all these are talking about is really it's the life review.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you, I guess, get things back in balance, for lack of words. Any more comments?
Not on that one.
Next one says that we are all the same. Oh, I like this. We are all liars, thieves, etc. I like that one. Pull that rafter out of your eye before
remove the rafter out of your own eye before you try to remove the straw from your brother's eye.
Yeah, beautiful. That's what this reminds me of. Anyway, I got sidetracked, sorry.
That's okay.
Beautiful words from a beautiful soul. Okay, back to this. It says that we are all liars, thieves, etc. Okay, we have all experienced multiple lifetimes where we have corrected bits and pieces of our ego. This is what life is about. Growth and learning. It's not an us versus them. We are all in it together. We are all responsible for the evil we see. How we treat one another has a ripple effect. People who have these traits lack empathy, compassion, due to that not having been present for them or taught to them during key development phases. Every spark will return eventually.
This comment resonates on all levels for me.
Almost every single line in it, yeah.
Yes.
Comments, Daphne.
Yeah, I mean, there's such beauty in this. I love the fact that this person brought out, we are all these things. And we all have been, at some point in our life, been those things. And that's the part of evolution, growing and learning, and learning to love instead of be self-centered and all about self. Give to others, be of service to others. But right here, this point just reminds me of so many of the books that I've read. We have all experienced multiple lifetimes. And in the Conversations book, it says that every person has been every form that they could be, male and female. They've been kings and queens and poor and, lovers and murderers.
Every country, every nationality.
We have been everywhere, everything. Because we're spirit, we're soul. We just keep recycling and having experiences.
Nice, yeah. And to go with that thought, I like it says here that we are all responsible for the evil that we see. Because you don't understand what you might have did to somebody that had a rippling effect that they did to somebody that had a rippling effect that did to somebody else that ended up freaking somebody out, and they went postal on somebody, went and killed a bunch of people because of something you said.
Right.
It was
the chain reaction.
That ripple effect, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you don't know.
Yeah.
Well
said.
Now, I like this part right here where it says that, and this resonates with me. People who have these traits, okay, that we're talking about in this episode, that they lack empathy and compassion and things like that, is due to not having been present for them or taught to them during key development phases. Now, a lot of times, we don't know if a child grows up in a very abusive family. It happens every day all over the world, thousands upon thousands, very abusive people. And you don't know how, what kind of effect that's going to have somebody. But, if a child is shown love, and like it says, in the key developmental phases, all right, well, that starts off in the first 7 years. That's going to be that first foundation, okay? And then the next 7 years, but everything that was that person taught love the whole time. Were they loved? Were they shown love? You don't know.
Right, and that's where we come to the free will. Because, take this example. Okay, a parent, like you just said, is abusive. They have 2 children. One child says, oh, this is the way I was taught. I'm going to be this way. I have no choice. It's the way I was raised. The other child, totally opposite. I'm not going to be the way I was raised. I'm going to be better than that. I'm not going to do the things that was done to me. I'm not going to harm another. So you have that free choice. It is free choice.
Free will.
What you do with your life.
Yep.
So that same parent raised the 2 children. So what's the difference here?
Which to me totally destroys soul contracts. See, you come down here, you have free choice to do what you want. Okay, you're going to make right choices, or you're going to make wrong choices. You can live in harmony with that agreement if it was, or you can totally go against it and destroy it. Yeah, I'm saying he maybe had an agreement to come. We all have these agreements. Let's say hypothetically we do have these soul contracts, soul agreements. Okay, now I wouldn't say. Let's say Hitler's was to come down here to kill, because you're going against everything that is pure and holy and everything that represents. No, right. That's where I'm having my issue. I don't believe that in his contract, all right, dude, on this date and here, that state here, you're going to go down here and I want you to be responsible for killing all of these people. Okay, that's
right.
The point is, I think we come in, we have an agreement. We come in, and we are to stick to that the best we can to grow and our soul advancement. However, welcome to the jungle. We're down here in this dense environment. The influence, there's a lot of darkness down here as well. There is a lot of negative. The energies are here. You'd be blind not to see it. You'd be foolish not to even acknowledge that, So people come down here and then can make bad choices, can make poor choices, can break that agreement, can do whatever they got to do. Are they going to have to pay a price? Yes, you cannot escape from anything that you do.
Right.
That's the law of cause and effect, the law of correspondence. The point is that, you're going to have to get things balanced out in the life review.
Yes.
That totally makes sense,
It does. And from what I understand about the soul contracts, soul agreements, is this. You choose your parents, your locations, your personality.
Exactly.
That type of thing.
Sure.
And then from that point, you have free choice, free will.
Yeah. That resonates, yeah.
That is what the soul contract agreement.
Yeah, and because that would be in harmony with spirit. It would be in harmony with life and love and God. Okay, now we're resonating. Now I've got that resonates. So yeah, you get to choose all this and that's free will. Just like once you down here, the choices you make, free will.
That's on you, yes.
Yeah.
You create your world, your reality.
Correct. And
Right.
and nothing, no stone goes left unturned, because anything we do, that's that reaping and sowing, the cause and effect. You're going to have to to answer the question of this actual episode. Yeah, they're going to have to reap what they sowed, but
Right.
not in a hell, punishment, torment.
Correct. Yeah.
But it could be hell in their heads, in their minds, in their, I don't know.
The very last statement in this comment, every spark will return eventually. And that is that soul. We are a spark of the divine.
Yes.
We have to remember that and then live accordingly to that. And eventually, this vessel will be done away with. And that spark, guess what? It returns right back to its source.
Yeah.
So every spark will eventually return home.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about when everything and everyone is back in oneness.
Oh, yeah. The
Be nice if that
collective,
was
we've
like
got
it
to
here.
raise that consciousness.
Yeah, that's the challenge right here where we're at now. There's too much duality.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okie dokie. Well, we got time for a couple more. Miss Daphne, would you like to take that next one? And then we'll go ahead and get that, and we'll take that last one and go ahead and wrap things up.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, this is a stage upon which the play evolves. Some play the role of the bad guy. Some play the good guy. Once one is beyond the physical, one becomes pure spirit. One truly is. The stage and its props and scenery are gone. The actors become who they truly are. An irritation of a grain of sand brings forth the oyster's pearl. Is the grain of sand bad? Is the pearl good?
All right, here we go. Again, about the stage, and these are all just roles. Let's take something, guys. I don't know. Who's an actor? Pick a famous actor that played a bad guy. Let's go Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. Remember that guy when he was the Terminator to come in and just destroyed everything? Now, do we need to kill Arnold? Do we need to? Is Arnold set up to be cursed and destroyed for playing the role of a bad guy?
Right.
That's just a role. It's a movie. It's done and over with. And he put the suit down and went up, and he's still Arnold. He kept on going. Right. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but it's kind of the same thing. If we are pure soul and pure being, part of the one, part of the all, and we are playing the role, like you had read here just now, that the stage, the stage which the play evolves. Some play the role of the bad guy, some play the good guy. But once the physical is gone, once you're past that, once you're off set, once you're off the stage, Arnold, that's fine. You get back to being who you are. So it's kind of the same thing here.
Right.
And
we're not our story.
Exactly. Or the actor or the avatar. You're playing the role.
You're right.
But
You're
you
in a
still have
flesh
to make right
suit.
choices too.
You are in a flesh suit, an
Yes.
avatar, and having an experience.
Right.
You return back home to source. And that's why so many of these NDEers come through saying, oh, I was home.
Right.
I
And
return
all-knowing,
home.
too.
And all-knowing. That's because you tap back into source. You return, that spark returns back home to source.
Absolutely. So right here, I like the little analogy that, it takes sand to irritate an oyster for it to create a pearl. Now,
Yes.
are you to condemn that sand? Who is to say the sand is bad? Is it bad because that oyster had sand in it, irritating it?
Right.
You know?
And was the oyster good? I mean,
Or the pearl?
The pearl good.
Is the pearl good? Yes or no? It's what you say it is. Maybe to you it may be good. Maybe to somebody else, oh well, it's just a pearl. Maybe to somebody else, what's just something, an irritation in that creature's insides, that it took that irritation and that's how they dealt with it or whatever.
They
I mean, I don't
contained
know. Yeah.
They contained
That's
the
a beautiful little
irritation.
thing in its own way, that little process. Think about that. That's nature and its, and its work. Okay, let's take the last one. They have to review every thought and action and the reactions their actions drew from those who were touched by them, which goes into the billions of all life forms affected. Think about that one.
Yes.
Each individual is immediately loved and not judged by the Great One, only by their own judgment. Shame that seems to go on for infinity, even though time constructs are different and dimensional. An overwhelming understanding and forgiveness. Self-judgment and aeons of understanding for everyone affected by our actions are a promise.
Wow. Yes. Wow. That's that life review we talk about so many times, and I love the way this person brought it out, that we get to review every thought and action we had on others in all life forms, whether it be plants, trees, animals, whatever life form you interacted with, you're going to get to experience that back.
Yeah, think about that.
It's not just the human form that you're going to get the reactions and consequences, the ripple effects, the love, the good, the bad that you've done to humans, but it's all life form. And we've brought that out in several different episodes.
Yeah.
And this person brought that out, and I like that.
Yeah, and think about the ones knowing and unknowingly.
Exactly, yes.
So very good, very good. And it also ties in that the source does not judge, and that we will judge ourselves in that regard. If you even want to call it judgment, it's all learning, it's all growing, it's all really having to experience, the good and the bad that we put out in this realm. So, any final questions before we wrap things up, Daphne? And how would you answer today's question? Just from what we've gathered here. It can be, whether you agree or not. It can be, what we're gathering from all this here, or anything you want to share.
I totally understand that, we have a condemning mindset. That is what we're taught. We are wrathful. We are judgmental. But source, that pure love energy, is not. It accepts you as you are and the experience you experienced here, because you are here to experience for source, because source, being what it is, pure spirit, couldn't experience a physical form without tearing a part of itself and placing it here.
Yeah. That's my understanding as well. I like that. I like how you said that.
So it's all just a big experience to take back to source.
Get you thinking.
Exactly. And that's where we have to be open-minded about these things. We can't be so judgmental and condemning that this belief system is the only one. We all have different belief systems. We shouldn't judge one another for a different belief system.
Yeah.
What your belief system works for you, that is perfect. My belief system works for me.
It all comes out in the wash.
Exactly. I'm not going to condemn you, so please don't condemn me because I believe differently.
Right.
I love you for who you are. And you should love everyone else for who they are.
Yeah.
Because we are all a collective. We are humans.
Exactly.
And we are a collective, whether we realize that or not. We are one. And that's my belief system. Whether you believe that or not, that's on you.
And it's the perfect word to end on. As belief system, every bit of it is pure ego. Everything that you believe is your ego. It's got nothing to do with knowing, you see.
Exactly.
Once we transition on the other side, guess what? Our egos are destroyed. Belief systems are destroyed. We get back to the knowing.
Exactly.
Understand everything is BS, guys. Everything is belief systems. Nobody's is right. Nobody's is wrong. Everybody thinks theirs is right. Everybody speaks in the absolute. Everybody. Because it is truth to them. Because it is their belief system. However, it is what we call a relevant truth. Okay, keep that in mind.
Not an absolute truth.
Not an absolute.
Right.
Yes, so
Very
it's a
well
belief
said.
system. Anything that is a belief system, oh well, who cares?
It's going to be stripped away.
Yeah, who cares? It's a
Who
belief
cares?
system. Who cares? Yeah. So just keep that in mind.
Yes.
Everything is, it's okay for somebody else to believe different than what you believe. It's no reason for you to feel uncomfortable with them or, take anything personal that they don't agree with what you believe. Oh, well.
Try to convert their belief system.
Yeah, if you love, oh, well. You're not going to be worried about all the
Yeah, we have to
the
take
little
what
stuff,
resonates to us.
Yeah.
If it resonates with you and your soul, then live it, love it.
Yeah.
But don't condemn another.
And here's the challenge, Daphne, and we'll wrap up with this thought, is, we've all broken off from the one, and we've separated ourselves,
From each other.
from the one. And once we've separated ourselves and became aware of that self, we of course gave birth to selfness or selfishness,
Right.
and it's all about each other, and which has led to the separation, the selfishness. It all goes hand in hand. That's the problem. And separation is what feeds the ego, and the ego is what has the belief systems. That's where the belief systems live. It
And the
doesn't believe
ego
in with God.
is the one that's playing the part.
It's playing the part.
In the movie, in the role,
Yes.
in the play, whatever you want to call it.
Now, if you can take and have a balanced ego that is in harmony with the universal one and universal will, but from what I understand, that's I'm not going to go down that one. That's a different perspective, the way you can look at it. You can have an ego that's in harmony with the one. That kind of okay, I understand what they're saying there. Or you can just destroy the ego altogether and be back to being one. That's
Right.
really what I'm really understanding. The real secret, for lack of words. So, anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to go to the website. That's NDE.world for more information. And thank you so much for tuning in. May peace be with you all. Until next time.
Y'all let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.